Okay, you guys are live. Good to go.
We're live stream now. Okay.
Well, thank you all for joining. So I'll officially start the Budget and Finance Committee for Dewey Beach. In attendance, myself, Dan Hirschfeld, as chair. Why don't we go around? Zeke, you want to start and everybody announce who's here, and I'll take a roll call.
Zeke Pergoski, full-time resident, member of the committee.
John Gephardt, member of the committee.
Paul
Paul Bauer, liaison for the committee.
and Bill,
Bill Zolper, town manager.
Sheena,
Sheena Hall, accounting and HR.
and Kate.
Kate Banaszak, just here to moderate today's meeting.
Great. Well, thank you all. With that, let's, I guess we will start with the Pledge of Allegiance. Tilt it up.
Pledge allegiance to the flag.
Flag of the United States of America,
To the
to the
Republic.
republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
For all.
Thank you all. Okay, first agenda item that we had was to vote and approve the draft minutes from the November 1st committee meeting. Has everyone had a chance to review the minutes?
Yes.
I found two changes that are necessary.
Okay,
First, I'm listed as a non-voting member of the committee. I think that may be Paul, who should, as our commissioner liaison, who's non-voting. I'm not sure.
No, I think that was Joe Keenly.
yeah, that's just probably my mistake, John, that Joe should
Okay.
have been listed, not you. Okay.
Okay. And then I didn't quite understand further down where it speaks of estimated revenues per Sheena related to parking. It says 1 million, and then it says meeting, and I not sure exactly what was supposed to be there.
Let me open that up. I think that was the conversation. Well, I don't know. I don't think that was the conversation we were talking about, the change in the parking rate from $2.50 to $3. Let me just see the notes here. Yeah, so Sheena, the way it reads is estimated revenues per Sheena parking. Oh, you know what it is? This is just a listing that the parking revenues were $1.5 million, 1 million. Oh, meters instead of meetings.
Meters. That makes
Meters.
sense.
Got it,
Okay.
got it. Okay, yeah.
Otherwise, I have no problem with the minutes.
Okay, any other comments, or changes?
No, sir.
So you
Okay,
want to make a
fine.
motion to amend those minutes to reflect the comments that we just discussed there? Kate, is that good enough?
Yes.
I move to amend the minutes.
I'll move to second them.
Since there's three of us, all in favor, say aye, since this.
Aye.
Aye. So if I don't dissent, then we can't really dissent. Great, thank you, guys. Put my agenda here. Discuss 2024 budget regarding the assumptions, timings, and risks. Sheen, I think this is for you to provide a overview of some of the budget assumptions that you have in there. And again, I could just ask the committee to make sure that Kate, we posted the budget, and I believe the committee received the copy of the budget via email as well.
Okay, I took, I'm going to share my screen if you don't mind. Here it is. Share. I took some of Zeke's comments, and I went ahead and added a few extra things to the budget presentation because it wasn't long enough for Zeke. I added, let's see. Trying to think where it was. It was, I think, around page 15. Well, let's see, this is page 13 gives you the information as to breakdown of changes to the revenue streams, plus or minus 10%, to better explain how I got some of the numbers. Then that's 2 pages worth of info. Then this is what Zeke had asked about. I explained the use of our set asides and our grant revenue. This is page 15. It's which funds are in separate accounts, why they have to be there, where our $3 million grant is, that we only plan on using about $1 million of it this year, and explain the usage of our grant funds. Because Zeke was, curious about that, as rightly a resident or property owner in the town should be. Went into all the information, the different donations, everything, the set asides, anything that would have been not our revenue we're counting coming in this period. Then I went through, and in addition to the year-round employee obligations, we did a salary survey again this year. So it's page 23 is comparing non-police salaries with the town with various other towns. I did not get all the towns. I only got a few, but it shows where we are right now. Then page 25 is the police salary surveys. This I took our current rates that our officers are at with the starting rates of other towns, and to show where our guys are in relationship to that, just to justify our commissioners did a great job last year boosting the salaries up, getting our guys closer, but this just shows where there's still a discrepancy. That was
Is
pretty
the
much.
Dewey ones underneath our pictures?
Pardon me?
I was looking for the comparisons. Is the Dewey price underneath where all our pictures are right now?
Depends where your pictures are.
Yeah,
On the far right-hand side, I have
Yes,
town
sir.
of Kennewick
Slide
and
Sheena
an
to the
half
left.
of average.
yeah, if you
Yeah,
can move your pictures. But Dewey is over on the far right-hand side, yes, sir.
And
All
the
right.
column before that shows the average.
Hey, Zeke,
Yes, sir.
it's online on page 25.
Yeah, I'm looking at
It's
that.
the
I've just got,
attachment.
the pictures are all covering Dewey, but if I try and fix it, I'll screw it up and drop off.
Yeah, just pull up the one that's attached for public.
Zeke, at the top of your screen where it says view options, there should be a little down arrow. If you click that, you can go to side by side mode. That'll move that banner with everyone's picture over to the right. So you could probably see a little bit better.
You said me?
That was for Zeke.
Okay,
Yeah, see.
sorry, I don't have my teenagers here. I'm not good with tech. Basically those were the major changes, just to explain stuff a little bit better. But the salary survey was a big thing to add, along with the explanations. Any questions?
Questions, guys?
Nope.
And Sheena, your assumptions on salaries in the budget reflect a 10% increase for the police force and 6% increase for everyone else?
Yes, sir.
Any questions about that, guys?
Looks good, Sheena. Thank you.
All right.
A lot of work. Really appreciate all the detail.
A lot of detail.
Any other questions about the budget?
Nope, thank you for doing that.
No problem. Even though you are a Tennessee fan.
Hey, it's always because you're a Tennessee fan. Emphasize the wrong words.
With this in mind, Paul, what do you think? Do we need a motion then to recommend to the commissioners that approval of the budget?
Well, someone needs the motion and then you can vote on approving the budget. As
Do I have a
we have
motion?
it posted.
Do I have a motion?
I'll go and give the motion that we accept this as presented with the increases of 6% and 10% and all of the numbers updated, that we accept this and forward it towards the commissioners.
John, do I have a second?
Second,
And I also approve. So the three of us, it's unanimous. Then we will recommend that the budget as presented it be sent to the commissioners for their approval. Sheena, if I can ask you again, I don't know if you have this up, but the discussion on your analysis on the residential as well as the business licenses.
Yes. Okay. Sorry, my office light goes off, so if I'm dark, sorry. The commercial business license, the fees for residential rental and commercial business licenses that the town of Dewey Beach requires have not been increased that I've been able to find since 2012. So I took the CPI from 2012 to 2023, and it's a 28% increase. On my screen, it's kind of, you'll see that we've got, wow, there it is. The number of the different rates on the left-hand side for the different businesses, how many there were this past year. And then I took option 1 is just numbers I threw out. Option 2 was ones that Dan came up with. Option 3 is the CPI, straight across the board. In addition, this would take the seat per seat for the bars and restaurants from $6 a seat up to $8 a seat, because we're just requesting that we use round numbers instead of change. With the approved increase seatage for the expansion of premise that the commissioners have approved, there's an additional 415 seats that'll be around town, which in addition to this 65,000 that the 28% brings, there's an additional 3,000. So that's basically almost $70,000 with the 28% increase for the commercial. And I'll stop with that.
And what's reflected in the budget?
No increase, for the simple fact a fee increase would require prior approval before I could even think about putting it in there.
What about the 415 additional seats?
That wasn't even, I just got that number, I think Friday or Saturday.
Okay, so that is a potential positive variance, additional revenue. And then if we were to have this a recommendation on an option here, that could be additional revenue as well.
Yes, sir.
Zeke and John, any comment? Well, Bill or Paul, any conversation or any further discussion on that? Of
Yeah, can I chime in?
course.
So I'm just reading across like the top line. So an out-of-town small business is currently, Sheena, correct me if I'm reading this wrong. Currently, they pay $109. There's 423 of these folks, right?
Correct.
So they pay $109 and we're going to raise them $16 to $125. That doesn't seem like the big.
That was my first option. The 28%, they would go up $41 or $31.
$30.38. Okay. So you go from 109 to 139.
Right.
Okay. And then, I'm just being considerate to the small businesses here. So a small business, the third line down, currently pays 273. A 4% increase would move them up $12, but the 28 would make them 349. So 273 becomes 349.
Yes, sir. There's 24 of them in this town.
24 of those. Okay. What are some examples of those? Do you know offhand? Is that Vavila's and Smoke Shop?
That's what I would assume.
Yeah. Okay. And then hotel, but okay. So this is pretty self-explanatory. And I think one of the things historically, I mean, we sit down and, hey, if you wait 11 years to raise your rates up to current standards, it's going to be a jump. I think if we raise it, or we put a cost of living indicator in it for future years, then we don't have to go through this process all the time. Hey, if cost of living went up, we all know inflation went up. What was it this year? 7%, 8%. So, it makes sense that, our costs have gone up at least that much as well. So we have to balance that somehow. But yeah, I think most years it's only been like 1 or 2%, right?
Cost of living, yes.
Yeah, because if it's been 11 years since we've raised it, 28% divided by 11, it's 2 point something.
Right.
Right.
It's the compounding effect. Yeah. You're
It's
exactly
compounding
right.
effect there.
Yeah. It's a bigger number because obviously it's been so long since we've done it.
Yeah. So, and I think this needs to be discussed by the commissioners to see which options they like on this and why. And let's see, I think the commissioners need to discuss it first and then discuss and vote. So the public is aware of us discussing this thing now.
So
And-
we
Go ahead,
talked
sir.
at the last meeting, Paul, like possibly which option we would recommend you guys go. I know I got an email from someone here in town saying that things are gonna go to $400, $500, $600 for licenses and things, and I don't see that anywhere in this discussion or the facts and figures that are laid out. And I think we wanted to try and forward, and even right across the board, everybody gets to pay the same thing as option 3,
Right.
if I recall. Just for you all to study, to look at. I mean, you're free as a commissioner to do any of the options, and I just, I don't see what that letter was that we got earlier, but I don't see a reason that the option 3 is really a killer for anybody. I mean,
Yeah.
everybody hates
Okay.
to see things go up. Everybody hates to pay more, but like you say, 11 years, 2012 to 2023.
Yeah. So the restaurant bar base rate is 273. That doesn't seem to be a ridiculous number for a business license. That seems to be in line with surrounding towns. And then, if we go up $76 on that, $76 over 11 years, 11 years to raise it. That's hopefully that doesn't deter anybody from wanting to do business in Dewey Beach. The same thing with the per seat, raising it from 6 to 8. Was it 6 to 8? Is that the discussion?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I see it 767. Weren't we rounding it to the nearest dollar though?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So that number would be a little different, but not much. Okay. I think I'm crystal clear on it. Does anybody else have anything to weigh in on?
John, anything?
Dan, I have something.
Yeah.
So, if Sheena's correct with 2012, it was the last time any of these things were increased. Yeah, they should have been increased over the years. Because all these businesses, whether they're out of town or in town, when they call for a police officer, our police officers respond. And we've been giving, at least in the last 2 years, an increase to our police officers. When they call into the town hall and they expect an answer, we're providing them a service. So I think an increase of 28%, considering that it was over 11 years, is what it should be. I mean, that's a fair increase, giving the CPI over the last 11 years, and considering that the town is providing a service. And if the beach isn't clean, which the town's cleaning, if the beach isn't safe, which we're doing lifeguards, and if the town isn't providing police officers, we're going to have a problem. So I think 28% is reasonable for our businesses in town to pay an increase for the last 11 years.
And
I also don't see how these figures are going to break their bank. Yes, it's 28%, but boy, if I just don't see how these amounts are going to really deter businesses, whether they're existing or new businesses, from being in Dewey Beach.
No, I concur with everybody, and I think if it's sold the way that the town manager is saying, is like, look, it hasn't happened in 11 years. Here's the cost living. Here's the all the multipliers that have come into effect, and here is the bottom line. If you're going to go from $6 to $8 for a seat to answer police calls, firemen, lifeguards, all these other things, I think as long as you make sure that the public knows this and the businesses know this, they're not going to be unamenable to this.
Right. I just worry about the smaller businesses. The larger ones, I'm sure can afford it, but like a Dewey Post, for example, they just opened up within the last year, and, they're going to go from 273 to 350. That's a big jump for a small business, but probably, I think I just want the public to be aware that we're discussing it and they can weigh in on it. And, we do it publicly and out in front of everybody.
Yeah, I think I even brought that fact up with the country club and Raw and things like that, the smaller venues last meeting we had. So,
right.
Yeah.
Right.
And please remember that some of these businesses under their new conditional use have increased the volume of seating that they're going to have in their restaurants or establishments. So
Right.
they'll have more patrons to serve. So, I mean,
Sure.
yeah.
Okay.
Well,
And the-
any other comments? I'll weigh in. Any other comments? I'll wait. Go ahead.
I have
Bob.
one more comment. So for our small out-of-town businesses that may come into town just to do a job for the day, there is in our code that they are able to buy a one-day business license for $50. So they can do that for $50. So if somebody should say that they have to come in and spend $150 or whatever it is just to come in and do a service on somebody's residence, we do have a one-day business license that if they come in the town hall and ask for, we will sell it to them.
And just to be clear, it's 139 or maybe 140 with the rounding for that small, at the out-of-town small rate.
Right.
An increase of $31. So, my 2 cents on this is, I think that having the rate increase across the board to be consistent is being fair to all constituents here versus, having some sort of arbitrary increase for different categories. So I think that's appropriate. And I think, 28% is tough, but again, it's been, since 2012 for the increases. So this is catch up. And then the other point would be that even some of these dollars, if we go back to what Sheena put together with comparing our rates to the neighboring towns and so forth, we were below a lot of those categories. So this will now get us up there. Again, it's hard when you have the increase, but the materiality of it and in comparison with the other towns, I think is appropriate.
Yeah,
I mean,
our
our salaries
example
have
we
to
sent
keep
to all of
pace.
us, the commissioners, about, you got a toilet that needs to be fixed for $150, but now it's going to be 500 more on top of it. That license is not per job. It's for the employer or for the businessman to spread it out amongst all of his clients for the whole season.
Right.
The whole year, the whole
Yeah.
year.
Yeah,
Oh,
so that
yeah.
letter that we got was blatantly kind of, out in left field somewhere. So,
Right. So the year for that example, instead of paying $109, they would pay $140 for an entire year's license.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Or pay $50 if they're just going to do a one-day thing.
That's right.
You do more than 3 jobs, If you
Get
do
the
more than
season.
2 jobs, you're better off getting a whole year.
Yep.
Right.
Okay. That
Any
makes
other
sense, you know, and I rationalize it in my head here is, hey, what were salaries in 2012 compared to salaries in 2023? We got to make sure our staffing's right. We're paying our people right, so we keep them.
Well, in addition to the labor costs, you know, everything from gas to utilities to insurances have all gone up for the town as well.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
Paul, do we need a
Seems
motion for
reasonable.
this or?
No, I mean, the commissioners are going to discuss it, but
Okay.
We probably could make official the recommendation to the commissioners to adopt it. And then they could just discuss it and decide whether to follow our recommendation or not.
Bill, are you okay with that? Is that,
Yes,
Okay. So do I have a motion to recommend option 3 for the business, commercial business licenses?
So moved.
Okay.
well, you can't make that motion, Dan. That needs to come from Zeke or John.
John, I did the last one. You go ahead and do this one.
I
I was
I
asking for a
moved-
motion. I was asking for a motion and John
Yes.
was,
so moved.
Now, John, you need to make the motion. You can't move on his motion.
okay.
I move that the Budget and Finance Committee adopt this recommendation, option number 3, with a across the board 28% increase for the entire business community in Dewey Beach.
I second.
Okay. And I'm in favor of it. So therefore it is a majority and it carries.
Hey, Sheena, just on a side note, at the very top, there's an extra, you have a business fell analysis. It should be business fee analysis. Small typo.
I can add, I can't spell. Okay, gentlemen, the last one. Let's see. Hold on. There we go. Residential rental. Right now, if you have a 2-bedroom home that you're wanting to rent out, you pay $142 for the whole year for the license. That's not the accommodations tax. That's just the license. We have 236 of those in town. The largest one is I think it's a 13 plus bedroom mansion, whatever, only one of
West
those.
Street, yeah.
This layout is a little different. The first one, option 1, I just kind of rounded numbers. The second one is the 28% across the board. And the third one is more rounding, but it's all around 28, the 28% is option 2. So your small home that Commissioner Bauer owns, 2-bedroom that he's renting out, he would go from $142 to $182. Normally there has been an $11 increase from 2-bedroom to 3-bedroom, 3 to 4 and such. It would be a $3 increase. The biggest change would be the very large home. That person would be paying $79 more a year, $364. That's an additional almost, roughly $29,000. This also has not been increased in 11 years.
Comments or questions?
I'll bring up the same point I brought up last time is I like the same rate right across the board. So no one can say, well, I'm paying more than you. You don't get as big a say as I do, like we do with the beach tax, which is based on a totally different way of your purchase of your home and the rate you pay there. I like that everybody is the exact same. Like you say, it's 11 years again. It's a pass-through tax. So the people renting their 2-bedroom home, increasing it by $40 is going to do that over the life of 13 weeks or more. So I really don't think that's going to be a deal breaker for a lot of them. And like I say, I just like the straight, flat, everybody does the same. So I support option 2. And I appreciate all the work that was put in for bringing option 1s and 3 available, or all the other options that are available by Sheena. But I just love the same rate for everybody, so everybody's on the same level playing field.
I concur.
Anyone else? Any comments, Bill? Anything?
No, Sheena did a lot of work on this. Thanks, Sheena.
I also agree. I think it makes the most sense, just as we've been discussing, because it's got fairness across the board. And again, the materiality, I hate the fact that it's 11 years since we did it, because that 28% sticks out. But I think when you look at the dollar increase of $40 over an entire year, I think that is something that is reasonable given the circumstances, that has not increased over the last 11 years. So I'm also in favor of option 2.
Right. Hey, Sheena, just real quick, there's 2 option 2s here.
Once again, I can't type. It will be fixed for Friday, sir.
Okay.
If you went to a
Yeah, just
Tennessee
what we-
State school, you wouldn't have this problem.
hate to be a stickler on it. But yeah, so option 2, the middle one, 28%, just so we're clear on what we're motioning on this.
Any other discussion on this?
Yeah, so I'm trying to think of this. So if I have a 2-bedroom condo, I mean, I probably make more than $182 in renting it out, right?
I would
So
hope
I
so.
think it's a minor cost of doing business. Of course, no one's going to be happy, but are we consistent in saying that this hasn't been raised since 2012 as well, Sheena?
That is the last I have been able to find.
Okay. So, so when we tell the public, hey, we're raising it 28%, we should have raised it 2 or 3% every year. Just in the future, if we build some sort of cost of living indicator into our budgets, I think it would help us. It would save us all a lot of time and not have to go through a big jump. But although, it's a big percentage, but a small dollar amount. Okay. That's my 2 cents worth.
Yep.
Thank you.
Any other discussion?
Zeke, do you want to move for this one?
Yeah, I'll move that we present option 2 to the commissioners for the room rate increases of 28% straight across the board, subject to their debate, but that's what our Budget and Finance Committee recommends.
Seconded.
Third it, so it's unanimous. Here we go. That's all the topics that we had on the agenda. We open this up now for public. Let's see if there are any public comments. Paul, is that the next?
Yep. Is there anybody in the room here with us, Kate?
There is not.
There's no one joining us online. Hopefully somebody's watching us, but
They may be watching afterwards. They don't want to see it live. That's all.
I was hoping to be my big break for the big screen.
Well, if there's no further
There's no-
business, then we
Yeah.
could have a motion to adjourn.
I'll tell you what, I'll just say thank you to everybody once again. We did this. Dan, you've done a great job. We were able to recover from whatever hiccups we had from the last meeting, and to Sheena, to Bill, to Kate, and everybody else that joined us. John, glad you're back from your jury duty.
Yeah,
Me
me
Happy
too.
Valentine's Day, and I make a motion. We go ahead and exit the meeting.
yeah, say
Second.
thank you, Dan and John and Zeke. Appreciate what you're doing.
Glad we got all worked out.
Our pleasure.
I third the motion. It's unanimous. So thank you all. And again, I just add my thanks to Sheena and Bill for all the hard work that you put in this. Really do appreciate it. Been very accommodating. And I know, there's been a ton of questions and whatnot. So hopefully we get everything approved with the commissioners and you can have this behind you and just go back to doing the monthly accounting and all the HR stuff.
Yeah, Shannon, great job putting all this stuff together
Yes.
for us. Much appreciated.